Is up, y'all? I'm so nervous about this video. So obviously you've read the title of this video, so you know what this gonna be about. But I don't know how to start this, so we're just gonna jump right into it. So my name is Carson, and I don't know, I don't want to say suffer, but because I'm not suffering, but sometimes. But my name is Carson, and I deal with hypochondria and anxiety. Yeah, this blush isn't makeup right now. We're in a health crisis right now, and we are all quarantined to our houses, and I know my mental health is kind of wavering right now, so I figured it would be a good idea to make a mental health video and share. I'm sweating right now. Share my experiences and my struggles and how I work through and deal with it, and kind of to bring some information to people that don't know a lot about that kind of stuff. I don't know. I've tried to prepare so hard for this video, and I have all my notes and I have my laptop and everything in front of me, and I still feel like I'm not going to be able to say everything I want to. So I think I'm going to start off. I'm just going to tell you guys my history with all of that, and yeah, I'm just going to tell you all my history and when it started and how it is now and all that good stuff. And then I'll start giving then I want to give y'all some tips on how I work through it and how I'm working through it right now. And yeah, that's how this is gonna go. I'm so nervous about this video, guys. Oh my god. If this video turns out like crap, I am sorry. I tried. I really did. I really tried to prepare so much, but this is really hard to make. But I feel like this is kind of empowering for me because I'm I don't talk about this very often, so we're gonna work through it. My journey with all of this started back when I was around 6 or 7, when I was in 1st grade. So I'm not really sure. This is what I think triggered all of it, because I'm not really sure. I've tried to figure it out so many times over the years. But my mom was a stay-at-home mom all when I was growing up, until I was in 1st grade. And she went back to work, and I don't know why, my whole family doesn't know why, but that sent me over the edge. And yeah, my brain kind of thought she was abandoning me in some way. I don't know, that's the only conclusion I can come to on why this all started and why that triggered it. But yeah, so we noticed something was off because I stopped eating. I didn't sleep good, and the reason I didn't sleep good was because somehow in my tiny brain I convinced myself that I was just gonna stop breathing in my sleep. Let me back up before I keep going. I have even, for those of you who don't know what hypochondria is, okay, so pretty much I'm gonna read you a definition. I'm gonna read you a definition and some symptoms, so you get a gist of why I was acting out like this and why I continue to act out like this. When you just Google hypochondriac definition, it comes up as a person who's abnormally anxious about their health, a condition where a person is obsessed with the idea of being affected by undiagnosed serious medical conditions. The symptoms, stop moving. Symptoms are preoccupation with having or getting a serious medical condition, worrying that the body sensations are symptoms, easily alarmed about your medical condition. Pretty much the littlest thing gets blown out of proportion in my brain when it comes to my health. An example, you could get a headache, and instead of just being oh, I have a headache, I'm gonna go take some Tylenol or whatever, your brain immediately goes from I have a headache to I have a brain tumor and I'm gonna die. That's what it is. It really is that crazy, and I'm 20 now, so I've been dealing with this for 15 years, and trust me, it is the most annoying thing ever because it's so annoying. So when I was 5 or 6 or 7, I don't remember, I was in 1st grade, all this started happening. I just convinced myself that I was gonna stop breathing in my sleep. I was constantly at the doctor, like, because I thought I was sick. I just thought I was sick. No idea why. I just thought I was sick. I remember, like, vividly, like, this one occasion, like, sitting on a bed at a doctor's office with my dad, and the doctor literally having to blow up a balloon in front of me and, like, trying to explain to a 6-year-old, like, that your brain, your organs, your brain doesn't have to tell, like, you don't have to tell your brain to tell your organs to work. They just do. Just because that's how our bodies were designed. No, my brain was like, you're gonna die. You're gonna die because you're not awake to tell yourself to breathe, so you're gonna die. And that's how my brain worked at 6 years old. As I grew up, it's always been there. Sometimes, like, there were periods in my life where it wasn't as bad because it was just like I was just a kid growing up, but like there were other times when it got really bad. I'm really shocked it didn't get as bad as it did, like, when I was, like, in 4th grade, because I was homeschooled in 4th grade due to medical reasons, and I was in the hospital a lot, and that's a story for another day, but, like, I'm surprised it wasn't that bad then, because it probably should have been. Also, remember, like, I wouldn't stay the night at people's houses until I was, like, in 7th grade or so. Like, the littlest things would trigger me, and it wouldn't even be like, little things would just trigger, and I would just freak out. And yeah, a lot of kids don't like staying the night at people's houses when they're young. I feel like that's not a super uncommon thing. But for me, it wasn't like, oh, I'm scared, like, blah, blah, blah. It was like, I'm gonna die if I'm not home right now. Like, I'm physically gonna die, and they're gonna have to bring me to the morgue. Like, it was so bad. I'm just gonna flash forward to college, because I feel like high school, my mental health sucked, but I think it was more like insecurity and like insecurity driven. I don't know. I went through a lot of crap in high school, and like 8th grade to like my sophomore year, like those years were just terrible. Terrible for me, but I feel like that's a whole different story, and I can do another video on that later on. But like, let's just say my mental health was not good in high school, but I feel like that's, if I explain all of it, it's gonna make this video way too long, so I can drop all that and like how insecurity ruined my life and all the other events that happened. Then I can do that another time. Flash forward to college, my hypochondria started acting up again, we'll say that much. I feel like from high school through college and like now, I feel like I've had a lot more like problems with panic attacks because of like the anxiety part of hypochondria. I had some growing up. I remember there was this one time I had a really bad panic attack when I remember as we were seeing New Moon, and that's when Charlie St. Cloud was getting advertised, and when the kid died in the preview, I lost it. I absolutely lost it because, you know, I was afraid of death, and I literally, my arms and my feet and my legs all went numb. I started hyperventilating, like, and my mom had to like literally carry me out of the theater, like ruin the whole experience. It was not good. Another thing, like when I do talk about panic attacks, like I want to like let you guys know, like panic, for people that like don't have them, I feel like they think panic attacks are literally like freaking out. Like some of them are like that, trust me. Some of them are like that, but like, shoot, panic attacks could literally just be, sometimes I'll be having one and I'll just literally be sitting there like, not moving at all, but like my whole brain, it feels like the entire world in my brain is just collapsing, and it's just like I'm freaking out so bad that like I literally can't move, and I literally just sit there and just like crying on the inside. That's that's how some of those go. Some of them aren't like that. Some of them are, some of them aren't. I still have some of those ones where I literally hyperventilate and my hands and feet go numb. I actually just had one on Friday night. It's Sunday. And it was not good. I had to go sit in the living room with my mom. And I literally came out and she was like, "What are you doing, Carson?" I was like, "I just need to sit out here. I can't breathe." And it's just, my mom knows. My mom knows all of this. So it's just like really hard not to like freak out and be like this when there's a global pandemic going on right now and people are dropping like flies, and they have been. Like, I remember when this virus first started, like when it first started in China back in like the beginning of February. I remember hearing like when it got up to like 100 people, I was ready to quit my job. I'm not even kidding. I was literally telling my mom, "I'm gonna quit. Like, I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna stay home and I'm not gonna leave and everything." And she literally was like, "Carson, like, it's all the way in freaking China. Like, you are not gonna get touched by this." I mean, I didn't quit then, but I did definitely quit like a week or two ago because of this. But I feel like now it's like my parents didn't mind because they knew like if I kept working, there was a great chance I was going to get it. So I'm sorry if I'm rambling a lot more than usual in this video. It's just because I'm very anxious and I don't want to mess this up, and like I'm just a 20-year-old girl and I'm just still an undergrad in psychology, and this is what I love, and I love this because this has been a huge chunk of my life, and that's why I'm making this video. But I'm also not very good at speaking, and I'm also not any way qualified to like diagnose anybody or any of that good stuff. So I don't know, I kind of just wanted to use this to bring like awareness and to show like other people that are like struggling with their health, mental health right now. Like, you're not alone. You're not alone, trust me. We've been out here on these streets for a very long time. But yeah, that was just a little bit of like what I've experienced. If you guys have like any questions about like hypochondria or like anxiety or panic attacks or any of that stuff, you're welcome to DM me or text me, or if you have my number, because I'm pretty sure the only people that watch these videos are people that know me. So I'm sure you can contact me and ask me questions if you need to. But yeah, let's jump to the part that I'm not as anxious for. Okay, guys, I'm really sweating right now talking about all this. So I kind of like tried to like split it up, because I feel like a lot of the ways I deal with this stuff, like it drops into like two kind of categories. It kind of drops into like diet, and then like activities or like things that like help. See, I have everything, like I have my notes and everything, and I'm still like stuttering because I'm so this is really hard. I'm trying my best, guys. Okay, so I'm gonna literally contradict the heck out of myself right now. Drink water because caffeine is not good for you, and I'm really contradicting myself when I say that. But like I said, don't get me wrong, I love a good cold brew. I love a good Bang energy drink. I was drinking one in my last video. But like, caffeine will send your anxiety through the mother freaking roof, bro. Like, and when you're dehydrated and you have all that caffeine going through your system, it's like you think, like, I didn't talk a lot about like anxiety, like having just plain anxiety. But like pretty much people that don't know, if you don't know what having anxiety feels like, it's like you're just, I can't describe it in any other way as you feel like you're coming out of your skin 24/7. It's just like constantly you're just on edge. And I don't know if that's how all people with anxiety feel, but that's just how I feel. It's just like I feel like I'm constantly just on the verge of like freaking out. So yeah, don't be dehydrated and drink a lot of caffeine when you're already pretty anxious. Like I try to drink water with my caffeine because that makes it less bad. I don't know. I'm gonna be a mom right now. Eat your fruits and veggies, because processed foods, they have a lot of bad chemicals in them, and the bad chemicals are bad for your brain. If I get interrupted one more time. My mom interrupted me again. But yeah, so processed foods bad for you. I just threw my remote at my head. I'm sweating. I'm freaking out. It's not even, it's like cold in here, but I'm sweating because I'm anxious. Chamomile tea. If you love tea, I love tea. I love tea. I think it's the coolest thing ever. And I could have a whole video on different types of tea and like what they do for you and like all that stuff. But chamomile tea is like so good for you because it has like a antioxidant in it that binds to the neurotransmitters in your brain and reduces anxiety and helps you sleep. Leading into my next point, aromatherapy. Aromatherapy is also very great, and they have chamomile aromatherapy. Like, I don't know if you can see it. Oh, it's over there. I have one of the little essential oils diffusers, and you pretty much, you put water in it, and then you put oil, scented oil in it, and it like diffuses it into your air. So it's like a candle without burning it, but like different scents do things for like, do different things. I'm terrible at wording things. But yeah, chamomile's great for helping you sleep. Eucalyptus, I really like too. Eucalyptus is very calming. That's what's in that stress relief stuff from Bath and Body Works. So if you like that, get your eucalyptus essential oils. And chamomile. This one's kind of like a general, and I want to give examples for it. But doing activities that make you feel in control. A lot of people are diagnosed with anxiety, and a lot of it is rooted in the fact that you don't feel like you have control over your life, so you feel anxious. It's like when you go into a test and you're scared about the test, so you feel anxious, you feel nervous. It's like you feel that way about your entire life, so you're constantly on edge and you're constantly freaking out. So doing activities that make you feel like you have control help, because it's like, I don't have control over my whole life, but I can focus my attention and control this painting. I can focus and control. I like cleaning. I'm a freaking clean freak, and my friends all make fun of me for it. So, but it helps me, makes me feel like I have control. I feel like art in general has been literally my saving grace. Well, besides God, because God be the number one source for helping me get through this, but I completely lost my train of thought after that. Art, like painting. I feel like makeup is art. I feel like clothes, fashion is art. I have fashion shows. I accidentally hit my remote and ended the video, but like I was saying, I have fashion shows in my room all the time. Like, check this fit. So, art, it's amazing. It's one of the best therapies, in my opinion. Another thing I highly recommend is journaling. I've spent the last 2 years of my life journaling my heart out, and it has been so productive for me and like my thought process. And I literally have I have a drawer in my vanity dedicated to journals, because I have like 20, because that's how I organize my thoughts. That's how I get what I'm feeling out on paper. It helps me work through God, I trip over my tongue so much. But yeah, so like I was saying, I remember my freshman year of college, I read this article about how like these psychologists, they did a study on people who had experienced trauma, and they had an experimental group and a control group, obviously like any experiment, and they had, I think it was the control group, I don't remember, one group wrote out their trauma and like started journaling and everything, and the other group didn't, and it showed that the people who had journaled it and like wrote through their trauma healed and worked through it so much faster and so much more efficiently than the people who didn't. So I'm like, oh my god, bro, like, I tell that to everybody who has ever came to me and asked for advice. I literally just tell them, journal it out. And they don't know what in the brain makes that happen and what helps, like why journaling helps so much, but it does. So do it. I'm trying to like give it like a range of suggestions because I'm like, I know everybody's different and everybody enjoys doing different things. So yeah. But another thing I suggest doing is exercising. Trust me, I love laying in bed and being on TikTok. Makes my brain feel happy. But I burped, sorry. But yes, exercising. Good for you, good for your body, good for your brain. The reason people tell you to exercise, like a lot of people that like when you are going through bad mental health, like doctors will recommend exercise because when you exercise, here, let me back up. So the reason a lot of people, like the medical reason why people feel depressed or why they feel anxious is because you're lacking a neurotransmitter called serotonin. And when you don't have a lot of serotonin, you feel sad. When you have a lot of serotonin, you feel happy. So when you exercise, your brain releases endorphins, another type of neurotransmitter, and it makes your brain happy. It's like your natural painkiller in your brain. And so yeah, that's why they say exercising, because exercises releases those. And yeah, good for you, good for your soul. Speaking of good for your soul, let me tell y'all about my homeboy Jesus. Without God and without everything he has done to help me, I would probably not be here today because I probably would have lost my mother freaking mind by now. I don't want to go super into this right now because like I said, I could make a whole video out of this, but I don't want to make this video way too long because I'm like, bruh, I'm just starting out YouTube, and if I saw somebody with a hella long freaking video and I didn't know who they were, I wouldn't watch it either. So we're keeping this brief. I'm sure any Christian will tell you that prayer works absolute wonders. You don't have to pray a certain way. You don't have to say certain words. Like, it doesn't have to be formal. Like, it can be literally, God, I feel so anxious right now. Like, I need some help. Like, it can be as simple as that. Like, God hears that and he's like, oh, like, you're coming to me for help. Bottom line. And he's gonna help you out. Like, it's just, God would never put something in your life that you weren't capable of handling. And if you feel anxious right now because of something, it's not because you're not capable of accomplishing it. You're not capable of overcoming it. It's because he put that in your life to help you grow. So you're going to grow through it, you're going to pray through it, and you're going to get through it. Another thing is worship. I think worship, like prayer, it has such a wide range. I think, honestly, anything you do in honor of God is worship. Like, I think painting can be worship. I think singing and dancing can be worship. I think worship is honestly what you make it. Telling people about God, I feel like that's an act of worship. It's just, it's whatever you do to show God, like, hey, God, I love you. And you're great. And without you, I wouldn't be able to do this. So I'm thanking you and I'm honoring you through this. So yeah. I'm trying to like not, because I feel like sometimes like Christians have lingo that like doesn't make sense to like the general public. I don't know, like I remember when I first got saved and like people when they would say like seasons or like that kind of stuff, like I didn't know what they meant. So I'm trying to like talk in a way that's like able for everybody to understand. So if I sound like I'm stuttering, it's because I'm trying to like, you know. And another thing, like Christian related, read your Bible. I can't stress it enough. Like some people are like, okay, well I don't know where to start. I don't know what to read to help me with this certain situation. I can't tell you how many times I've didn't know what to read, but I needed help with a certain area in my life, and literally I just opened my Bible to where I was already reading, and the answer's right there. It's insane. I don't know how God wrote this, because the Bible blows my mind every single day. But like I don't know who told me this. Someone told me that like every single verse in the Bible has like 2,000 plus interpretations. I don't know who told me that. If you told me that and I'm not giving you credit right now, I'm sorry. I just forgot that you told me this. But yeah, and I believe that with my whole heart, because I'll have read something a year ago and I'll read it today, and I get completely different like ideas by it, and it's crazy. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, you don't even have to look for the word anxiety in the Bible to figure out how to deal with it, because it's in every single chapter. It's in every single verse. Like, it's insane. Like, I'm stuttering because I'm in awe of it still. Like, the Bible leaves me in awe every single day. So if you have something and you need help getting through it, open up a Bible. I promise you the answer is literally there, cover to cover. Okay, this is my last one because I feel like I've given a lot, and I kind of want to wrap this up because I don't want to make this video too long. But therapy, along with the huge stigma around mental health, there is also, I feel like, a huge stigma around therapy, and I just want to crush that right now, because I think the strongest people, you're not weak if you go to therapy, let's get that straight. I feel like you are you are probably one of the strongest people ever, because you are willing to sit there and say, you know what, I'm not okay, my brain is not okay, I need some help, so I'm gonna go to a professional, not, oh, I'm too strong, or I don't want to go to therapy, I'm weak. I don't want to spill my life out to some stranger. That stranger's a professional and can probably help you get through whatever you're walking through. So let's get this straight. Your mental health should be just as of high priority as your physical health. And the fact that they're even in different categories blows my mind, because me, as a hypochondriac, I can sit here and say that my mind has thought I was sick and convince myself I was sick, and my body follows, because your body follows where your head goes. So if you ain't taking care of your brain, you're not taking care of your head, you are going to, I don't want to say you're gonna screw up your life, but like, definitely you would be going to probably a better direction if you took care of your mental health. So don't let anybody convince you you are weak for wanting help. You are strong for just standing apart and saying, I'm not okay, and that's okay. So I'm gonna go to somebody who knows how to help me get through this, because I don't want to be struggling for the rest of my life. I want to work through this trauma. I just want everybody to if you guys take anything from this video, I want you to take this. When you do not deal with your trauma, like say you go through a traumatic event and you don't deal with it properly, you know how people, when you grew up, people said coffee stunts your growth? When you go through something traumatic and you don't work through it in a healthy, good way, your brain development gets stunted. And let me kind of just like explain what that means. So I'm 20 years old. Say I were to walk through something completely traumatic and I were to not deal with it. In say a year or so, when I'm 21, or a couple years when I'm 24, if I would still be thinking like a 20-year-old, because my brain is still stuck from when I was traumatized, because your brain physically gets damaged when something happens like that. Like your brain literally gets your brain literally gets hurt. Like you have to heal, like when you break a bone and you have to set it in place so it can heal properly. If your brain doesn't heal properly, it doesn't continue developing. If you went through something traumatic when you're 4 or 5, you're still gonna be thinking like, obviously not completely, like, you get what I'm saying, right? Please, like, I cannot stress this enough. Like, if you feel like you need to go to therapy, like, if God is placing that on your heart, do it. Do not hinder your growth. Do not hinder your development because your pride. Like, just flat out, don't hinder your growth into becoming the amazing person. Everyone, and you, and I don't know who I'm talking to right now, but you, don't let future you down because you don't want to deal with it. Because I promise you, if you don't deal with it now, it'll deal with you later. Okay, we're wrapping this up. Okay, so my last couple bits of advice: know your triggers. Know your triggers, because I didn't for a very long time, and one of the best things I have done for myself is learn what triggers me. And I mean that as in, like, I can't, sometimes I can't watch things that have a lot of emotion in it, because it's like my brain can't process all the emotion and the trauma that's happening and, like, in the show where I'm watching. So I start having an anxiety attack, and so sometimes I literally have to, like, just quit watching whatever show I'm watching, because if not, I'm gonna freak out. So know what triggers you. It could be anything. It really could be anything, but learn that about yourself so you're better in the long run. Okay, so this is for people who don't necessarily have, like, an actual, like a diagnosed mental illness. You are not, nobody is immune to hardship, and nobody is immune to trauma. So I want everybody to take these tips as seriously as the next person, because this whole pandemic is extremely traumatic. It's gonna be hard on all of us, because I mean, you're cooped up in a house. Like, that's, you're not meant to be cooped up in a house. So, like, if you're struggling mentally, that's completely normal, and we're all gonna get through this. Like, just, like, try out some of my tips, talk to somebody, something, but just because you don't have an actual diagnosed illness does not mean your mental health is of any less priority, and doesn't mean you're not susceptible to feeling anxious or feeling any of those ways, because you completely are. Okay, so this is something that took me a while to, like, realize and kind of, like, work through, because, so, like, if you're a Christian, like, especially if you're a young adult Christian, that there's, like, a huge, like, emphasis and, like, push towards getting a spouse, getting married, like, being in a relationship. Like, there's a huge push on that. And when you have, like, a mental illness like this, I feel like, it's just because I guess because I've had it for so long, sometimes you feel like you're kind of just, like, damaged goods, because everybody tells you, like, you need to be ready for marriage, you need to be prepared for it, like, you need to be whole in yourself before you can get in a new relationship, or blah blah blah. And I feel like when you struggle with something like this, it's like you feel like you're never gonna be ready. You feel like you're never gonna be fully prepared, because it's like sometimes just getting out of bed is the hardest thing in the absolute world. And so, like, anybody that feels like that, like, you're not damaged goods. You're not, like, you're gonna be, when I had to learn this, is like, God knows my heart. He knows that I want to be a wife one day. He knows that I want to be a mother one day, but he also knows what I struggle with, and, like, he knows my mind, he knows my heart. And this illness, or whatever you want to call it, like, it may never go away, but it's not gonna stop my life from happening, and it's not gonna, like, God's not gonna be like, oh, well, she has anxiety and she's a hypochondriac, so we're just never gonna give her a husband, because she's just never gonna be ready for that, because she can barely hold herself together, let alone a whole family. No, that's not how it works. And when God thinks you're ready, he's gonna put somebody in your life. It's not, you're not damaged. You're not damaged goods. Like, you're gonna be okay. You're gonna have a life after this. You're gonna have a life during this. Like, but yeah, I don't know if I explained that well enough, but like, you can have a mental illness and be 110% capable of having a healthy relationship. It's just how, this is with any person, it's how you react to the hardships in your life. If you sit there and you ignore it, the problem's never gonna go away. If you don't deal with your past, if you don't deal with whatever you're going through, it's going to hinder your future. But I feel like if you're constantly trying to be a better person, then A for effort. I feel like you get an A for effort. I feel like that's all it takes. That's all it takes is just effort and just pouring into yourself, and you're gonna have a normal, productive life. Okay, so we're gonna wrap this video up, but before we go, I wanted to share a scripture with y'all, and because I feel like this... Mom, why are you so loud? I don't know if you guys can hear her, but she just came back. Okay, so the scripture I wanted to share with y'all is 2 Timothy... Ow, I just punched my laptop. Okay, why is everything being so loud right now? Enemy really trying to ruin my Devo right now. Out here revving his engine. So, the verse I'm going to share with y'all today is 2 Timothy verse 1. No, I said that wrong. 2 Timothy 1 verse 7. And I feel like this is a very, like, I feel like this just covers mental health so perfectly. So I'm going to read a bunch of the versions because I feel like all the different versions have different wording, but I feel like that's what makes them so great. So here we go. Okay, so one of the versions, and I'm just going to say the abbreviations, NIV, that version. I'm such a clown. I'm gonna read this now. Okay, so what it says, for the Spirit God gave us does not make us timid, but gives us power, love, and self-discipline. Another version says, for God has not given us a spirit of timidity, but of power, love, and self-control. Another version says, God has not given us a spirit of cowardice, but of power and love and self-control. And the last one I'm gonna share with you guys, for God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. So yeah, the wording's all very similar, but I liked how one of them said, like, does not give us a spirit of cowardice, of timidity, of fear. Like, we were not created to be fearful or anxious or scared of the world, but God wanted us to feel powerful. He wanted us to feel love and to, like I said, self-control, and of a sound mind. Like, God did not create us with the intent of our minds ruining everything for us, because I feel like mental health can ruin a lot of good things in your life if you don't take care of it. But with a sound mind like God gave us, you can love, you can have power, you can have a sound mind. Your fears do not run you. Your fears do not run you. Let them serve as motivation to love harder, to just be a better person. But I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I don't even have to really explain this. Like, this pretty much explains itself. Like, your illness does not run your life. Your mental health does not run your life. It only does if you would allow it to. So, like I said in my last video, I challenge y'all to do things that make your brain feel good. Because when you feel good, your brain feels good, the rest of your body follows. So, that's all I have for today. So if you liked this video, or there was anything in this video you had questions on, or like anything you wanted me to elaborate more on, or like make a whole video about it, like I mentioned, like my high school and like dealing with insecurity, like I can make a video on that. If you guys have any suggestions or anything, let me know. If you like this video, like and subscribe. If this ends up being really long, I'm sorry. If you made it this long, thank you for supporting. But yeah, so God bless y'all. Have a good day and go read a book, paint a picture, cultivate your mind, and have a good day. Have a good quarantine, y'all.